case discussions. We talk about a range of different stuff today, or should I say tonight, in regard to the cases, the M Cave hike, certain thoughts and ideas there. But I do want to focus first on the Presgrove case with what I've been covering in recent time. The last Kenny Veach live stream and the first one, what I've done in a very long time, I believe. Very underwhelming. I don't know if it's the reach. I'm not sure if it's YouTube with notifications not quite working or the reach. I followed all the correct steps, mentioned extremely important details, and it's flopped. So we'll have to see and monitor that. But the recent standard video on the Kenny Veach case that I did has performed better. So I will be taking a look at patterns there because, in all fairness, if certain things are hitting, they need to be followed up on and continued for the best outcome and for the benefit of people that do watch, because if the majority favour a certain thing, that needs to be acknowledged. This time round, Joyce Bergow is present. Can't say her name normally, got to put some emphasis on it. Bit of impact. Just happens Joyce Bergow. I briefly refer back to one of your posts made or comments in regard to timing with Pepe and Caden Pressey, the side-by-side. So that's later, but I can get into that little note, give my thoughts and ideas there in regard to that clip, the Pepe one. I was going to do a short video, but then I thought, because of the reach, it's just not going to hit hard. You know, you want everyone or as many people to see it. I need to add a bit more depth behind it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to crop it down, Bergow, all under control. It's in reference to the one where you said it's okay to do. I'm going to crop it down, minimize it as much as possible in regard to that one particular screenshot of where Caden Pressey says to the other individual, which will be completely cropped out. I don't even know them anyway, but completely cropped out, where Caden says, Aaron, that guy in the background, who supposedly is Pepe, and Caden says, I don't trust that guy, or I had bad thoughts, bad feelings about that individual. I'm going to use that screenshot, and then I'm going to pair it with that newer footage just to tell a bit more of a story. I do like combining certain things. Probably won't be a long video, doesn't really need to be, but because of how it's handled, because of taking into consideration muting the audio, the only thing that I will mention from the audio would be the odd name cue, as in I think maybe Mikey's name is mentioned or so, as in I'm doing the talking, but I'm just using some words what the audio said when describing the clip. So that's a little heads up there, just so people are aware of what the footage is. And I can also say in the footage that the reality is, put aside the people's voices talking through the clip, the actual snap, if it is a snap, the actual material itself, you don't really hear too much. So people aren't missing out on that much. But it's just another good demonstration of important material. It can come out, and as long as it's handled properly, and I listen to the, do's and don'ts, it can work out. Let's be honest, let's be bloody realistic. How often from the light side has it resulted in success, as in, yes, do this and do that, use this and use that, compared to the dark side? In terms of the leniency, in terms of the access, people from the dark side have reached out more, and people not literally on the dark side, but would be labeled as that, have reached out more and more cooperative and more open. That's my observation, at least. So shout out to Joyce Bergow. Says, what do you think about it in regard to the timing of Pepe in regard side by side? I will address that and give my thoughts a bit later on in the video. It is there, but it's on the back page. I need to do the front page first of all, because I've just done like a little collection of notes from certain Facebook posts in recent time. Instead of, just going through it all really heavy and full on in a standard video, where it might look a bit static with a like a white screen and lots of text. I thought I'll just write down certain quotes or points and then I can just go over it and talk. We've got George Choden present as well. Welcome to anybody else that's watching in the background. If you're here for the Kenny Veach case, we can talk about that as well. I'll get into that a bit later. But here and there, if anyone does have thoughts, ideas, theories about Kenny Veach, MK, you can always add it in if you want at any point, and I'll try and respond back when talking through. Just allow some more people to join on in. Yeah, this was done on the spot. I know not everyone may be aware of this live, but as I said, when I do like heads ups, as in, oh, this is coming up soon, not everybody sees that either, or some people might, but they might not follow up on it if they're busy. But Gal says, I've told people, oh, like as a heads up that I'm live or something. A little drink. I'm sure more people will jump on in. Give it a bit of time. I do these lives earlier just because it works better for me. When I used to do it later, as soon as I finished the live, maybe within 10 minutes or so, I would go to sleep, but then it impacted the sleep pattern. So by doing how I do it now, I've got at least an hour to settle. So I appreciate that, Joyce. Casey, hey bro and everybody. Welcome, Casey. Present once again. Oh, there we go. Rebecca is back. Becker is present. I don't know why I tilt my head when I'm drinking. I mean, it's because if I do that, I'm gonna hit the camera. And there was one time in the past when I knocked the camera and it falling towards me. Fell on me now. It's Bex or Hex now. Oh, the Hex. Oh boy. Got 10 people present right now. Welcome. Rebecca, the Hexanator. Hexliari. There you go. So we've got Hexa, the Hexliari. Oh, there we go. Hey, Andy. Oh my goodness. Andy, I sound like from Toy Story. Andy, where's the toys? Oh boy. Right, can I balance that note there? I've only got some bullet points, that's all, and I can talk on. Okay, very interesting. Because still, in this case, in a way, there are some kind of double standards, what I've noticed. How some people can jump in on one thing and then the other stuff can be neglected. I've got the window shut at the moment, so there's no interference or noise, but if it does get a little bit too hot, I'll probably will open it because I don't want to be getting all warm and everything. So, I'll slowly start now, and then if in between anyone has questions or additional points, you can always do so. So, like a post, comments on Facebook, could be from case discussion, probably. Just the mention of Jack Newton and his bedtime, his stories changing, and, you know, whilst that's an observation to make, of course, if you was to compare inconsistencies with what Jack says compared to Jack Newton, compared to what Caden Pressey says, it's not exactly a fair comparison, is it? Because one says more, one makes more inconsistencies, the other one does not. But it might show the level of desperation by some holding on to something, making it as big as Caden's mistakes, and I don't think that's quite a fair comparison. Casey says, I have a question. Sure, feel free to type it in. See what it's all about. I wonder if Donna Bond will show up. Is Donna going to talk to the wall? Do you know the Muffin Man? That's a very important question, Casey. I don't know the Muffin Man, but I do know a couple of muffins. And they might have just come out of the oven. I mean, Bergow, Joyce, that lives on Drury Lane. Has anyone seen the sighting of the Muffin Man? Anyone captured it on camera, lurking about? Nice, we've got 15 people present. That's good to see. Of course, hopefully the audio and quality is okay and the feedback is fine. But for everybody watching, I want to know your thoughts. Would you say that there is the same weight behind Jack Newton's inconsistencies, specifically bedtime, compared to all of Caden Pressey's inconsistencies? Casey, I like messing with you, bro. Don't be messing with the Muffin Man, though. I don't know, you might wake up in the morning. I know someone's using a rolling pin, trying to put you into a pie or something. I don't know why. It's not too wonky. A little wonky screen, isn't it? Tell what. But yeah, I personally would say that there's not as many inconsistencies with what Jack Newton says compared to what Caden Pressey says, but the people in the different communities online like to really hold onto and grab the few inconsistencies by Jack Newton. You could understand people would, because if that's all you have to work with, that's all you've got to compare. But in terms of an actual fair comparison, it's just not there whatsoever. Caden says 10, well, let's just round it down. Caden may say 5 inconsistencies with stories or times. Jack Newton may say 1 or 2. There's a difference. Caden may say 10 to 15 different inconsistencies and it switches and changes with time. Jack, mainly the bedtime situation, the timing of it. The timing of it, of course, is important because you would want to know when Jack was truly awake and then when he wasn't, just in case he was awake or present near to Noah and when walking away, etc. That's the one important area I do understand. And as for Caden Pressey, there doesn't seem to be as much worry there as in when he was asleep, because with the exception of when going back to sleep, that would be it. But going to sleep for the first time, yes, when you look at an old conversation and post, 11:30 as Caden claims, then at a later point in 2024, a year on, Caden says no. Wait, we don't say no, he just says I went to sleep at 2 in the morning. Clear discrepancies there. But the timing of Caden going to sleep at either 11:30 or 2 in the morning isn't as drastic or as bad or game changing, because it's much earlier and it's before all the things happen to Noah. It's around 2 in the morning onwards what really matters, I would say. Of course, if there's inconsistencies or mistakes before that, it still needs to be addressed. Okay. Rebecca, it's not a fair comparison because one is way more vocal. Exactly. Caden Pressey is a lot more vocal. There are positives to take from that. It means we can learn more about the case itself, and I will add on to that a bit later. But by speaking more and having more opportunities and making that choice, there's a higher risk that things can go wrong at some point. George, Caden will say one thing to podcasters and the groups and says something totally different to OHP. Yeah. And look, this is the thing, George. There's been people online that have told me, told you probably, and others that, no, Caden hasn't done this and Caden hasn't done that. Why are you attacking him? Why are you calling him out for inconsistencies? He's honest, he's good, he's nice. All people have to do is go back to my video, my map project analysis, where, to an extent, I did a side-by-side comparison of details given from the police interview to the parts in True Crime on Google Earth, and I did it side-by-side. One had more details than the other, but the other one had maybe more times than the other. But I guess not everybody watches it. Tammy Burden, and who's seen Noah walk off? Of course, that's important as well in terms of the parts in True Crime last interview that was done, which consisted, who did it consist of? It consisted of Robin Smith,